right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, a great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Dabada, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, tonight's lesson is entitled, A Heart Full of Snares and Nets. Okay? When you think of a snare, you think of a trap. A net, you use something to catch something with, right? Something that you could trap something with. And going into my previous lesson about the Queen of Heaven spirit ceasing, and we know how these women are, how they get down, especially these women here in Babylon, aka America. You know, they are the worst of the worst. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26, and it says, "And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. And whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." Okay? So again, you know, a woman's mind is nothing but snares and nets, okay? These women are nothing but trouble. You know, when you get involved with them and you deal with them, man, you got to be wise in how you deal with them. Okay? Because they'll find somebody to trap you or to get you into trouble. In fact, let's take Dan, for example. And go to the book of Judges. Excuse me. Shoot. Get the book of Judges here. There we go. This is going to be the book of Judges. Chapter 16. Okay, starting at verse 1. And it says, "Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her." Verse 2, "And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, In the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him." In verse 3, excuse me, "And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the two posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron." Verse 4, "And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah." And it's funny too, because the name Delilah, when you look into it, it means feeble. And what happened to Samson when he told Delilah the secret to his strength? It made him feeble. It made him weak. It made him vulnerable. Verse 5, "And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, Entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him, to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver." Verse 6, "And Delilah said to Samson, Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee." Verse 7, "And Samson said unto her, If they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Verse 8, and the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs, which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Verse 9, now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs, as a thread of tow is broken, when it toucheth the fire, so his strength was not known. Verse 10, and Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. So at this point, you could say that Dan was kind of messing with her. Right? And she was trying, she was on that mission, because the Philistines, they wanted to get rid of him. Verse 11. No, wait. Yeah, verse 11. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast. Actually, let me read verse 10 again. And it said, and Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. Verse 11, and he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as other men. Verse 12, Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them off his arms like a thread. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head in the with the web. And she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, and went away with the pin of the beam, and with the web. And she said unto him, how canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. Verse 16, and it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed to death. So she just kept on prying away, prying and prying and prying, just to get that answer out of him, until he just got sick and tired of her pestering him. In verse 17, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon mine head, for I have been a Nazarite. And a Nazarite is someone who takes a vow unto the Most High from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like other men, be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he hath showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand, and she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as at other times before, and shake myself. And he wist not that the Lord was departed from him. You gotta, no matter how many times someone keeps pressing for something, you gotta learn that you can't give in. You can't let that pressure you can't fall under pressure so easily. Okay? You gotta learn to be unbreakable. Verse 21, but the Philistines took him and put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. So put him in chains and shackles and made him do bitch work in the prison house, grinding down, grains. Verse 22, howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, and to rejoice, for they said, our God hath delivered Samson our enemy into our hand. 24, and when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, our God hath delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us. And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, call for Samson, that he may make us sport. So basically, he was entertainment to them. Okay, and they called for Samson out of the prison house, and he made them sport. And they set him between the pillars. Verse 26, and Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, suffer me, that I may fill the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them. 27, now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. 28, and Samson called unto the Lord and said, O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee. Only this once, O power, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. 29, and Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon which the house stood, and on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah, which is the hometown of Dan. It's Samson's hometown. Sorry, it's Samson's hometown in Eshtal, which is a Danite city in Judah. In the burying place of Manoah, his father, and he judged Israel 20 years. Okay, so the moral of the story, you like I said, man, you can't fall under pressure and let people know things about you, even if they press you daily or like that, You gotta learn to be tight-lipped. Can't learn to give into that shit. Okay, and this is gonna be the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 21 and 23. And it says, whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. So once again, you got to learn to be tight-lipped about your secrets. Or, if you don't want people to know too much about you, just shut up. Be quiet. So, I'm going to read that again. Proverbs 21 and 23. Whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from trouble. Because you never know, one day you might let something slip, and then that's all that one slip is all that it takes. And before you know it, you're in big trouble. So you gotta be mindful of not just your actions, but your words too. Now it's going to be the same book. It's going to be Proverbs, but it's going to be chapter 11. Chapter 11, verse 13. And it says, a talebearer, who is someone who likes to gossip, spread rumors, revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. So, you know how people, they like to gossip, spread rumors, tell stories, or talk shit or whatnot. But those that are faithful conceal the matter. So you got to be careful who you tell your business to. You know, a faithful person, he'll keep your personal business, quiet. He'll keep it private. But that's got to be someone that you know for certain that you can trust. That's not going to spill the beans. So, all right. Excuse me. All right. Now I'm going to go to close out with this. It's going to be the same book, chapter. It's going to be Proverbs chapter 26. Proverbs 26 and 24. And it says, he that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. Verse 25, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. 26, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Okay, I brought this out because, like I said, someone who has something against you, he'll do whatever he can to shame you with his lips, with his talk. And he lays up deceit within him. He's always conjuring up lies and trickeries and devices. And when he speaketh fair, it'll seem like, okay, he's a reasonable person, but you can't believe him. Okay? For there are 7 abominations in his heart. So you gotta understand, someone may say something, but but you gotta have that in the back of your mind. What are they really thinking here? What are they trying to do? And it's verse 26, whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Okay, in verse 27, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. And Samson did diggeth a pit for himself right there. And he fell right into it. And it says here, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. Okay, so like I said, the moral of the story is just, a heart full of snares and nets, man. You just got to be careful in how you deal with people and what you say. That's why that saying, that very common saying that you hear from movies or even from people in real life, choose your words carefully. Okay? Think before you speak, because you just don't know. You just do not know how people are going to react to what you say or what they're going to do. Okay, and there's let me see if I can find it. One more in here somewhere. I think it's this one here. And there was let me see. Bear with me one moment. Actually, I could use this one. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. 24, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Okay? So to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. So, then there's another one, just roughly paraphrasing. The flattering of her lips are as smooth as oil. I just can't think of that scripture right now. I think it's, hold on. It's coming to me, just bear with me a moment. 23 and 20. not there. 27. No, that's not the one, but I could use this too. This is Proverbs 27:12, and it says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." So a prudent man, he'll be able to notice when something's wrong, or when something's going on, or where something just doesn't seem right. But those that are simple, are the ones that don't pay attention. They're the ones that end up getting caught in those situations. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all about I had for this. So again, this don't. I mean, women. Yes, Ecclesiastes 7:26. Roughly paraphrasing, a woman's heart is full of snares and nets. And at the same token, same time, a lot of these men too, because they could be laying traps for you too, just like how these women be laying traps. So you just gotta be, gotta be careful out here, because as the scriptures say, be ye circumspect. And be wise, and don't be fools, because redeeming the times, because these days are evil. See that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Because we're in that time where this could everything could go to shit at any moment, and people could go desperation mode, and that's where we're really gonna have to be on our A game. All right. Excuse me. So I hope that this was an edifying lesson. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ith Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Baba Bal, Shalom, Barakatham.